I put the blank there because I know I'm going to complete the square. I have to add something to these two guys to complete the square. So just recap what I'm doing. We factored this. We got down to here. This is not factorable because he's the trinomial from the difference of cubes. So you take each of these and set them equal to 0. You don't have to do work for those. You know that you're going to get a -2 there and a +2 here. So part of your answer is plus or minus 2. Right? Right. So I'm going to take this guy right here, and I'm going to set him equal to 0. And because I can't factor him, you have to use the quadratic formula, or you got to complete the square. So we're going to complete the square. So I move the 4 over to the other side by subtracting, and I put these plus blanks right there. Why are there plus blanks? Because I'm going to complete the square. So in a perfect square trinomial, all I need to do for this last number is divide this by 2 and then square it. So what is that? Uno. So I add a uno to both sides, and then so you take the b, which is always your x term, divide it by 2 and then square it. So like, for example, if I had, let's pretend we had x squared plus 6x. What would you add to this to make it a perfect square trinomial? 9. Because you would take the 6, divide it by 2, and square it. Now look at this. This is a perfect square trinomial. How do I know it's perfect square? Because I just created it. Okay, so x plus 3 times x plus 3. 3 times 3 gives me 9. 3 plus 3 gives me 6. So this works, right? So I can write this as just, x plus 3 squared. All right, that's the goal, is we want something squared because then I can get rid of the squared. So up here, I now have a perfect square trinomial. So how can I rewrite that? Well, let's factor it. What times what gives me 1, but adds to give me 2? 1 and 1. Yeah? Yeah. So I go x plus 1, x plus 1. And you don't have to write all this if you understand it. You can just go straight to x plus 1 squared equals, and on the other side, I get -3. Now, how would I finish this off? How would I get that x alone? Well, we got to get rid of this squared right here, so how do I get rid of it? Square root the dude. Okay, get that negative out of the radical and put an I out there. Okay, so now I have x plus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 3, and then the I is chilling out there. Now, how do I get the x alone? Subtract 1. So I get x equals -1 plus or minus the square root of 3i.
Fun.
Look how pretty he is.
He looks beautiful.